Lieber Herr Bilaluklu, meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren, zum Jubiläum 30 Jahre Dodge Automotive gratuliere ich Ihnen sehr herzlich. Seit vielen Jahren arbeitet die Porsche AG mit Dodge Automotive zusammen. In dieser Zeit haben wir Sie als zuverlässigen Vertriebspartner schätzen gelernt. Sie haben uns nie enttäuscht. Ihr Unternehmen repräsentiert nicht nur Porsche, sondern auch die anderen Marken des Volkswagen-Konzerns, vorbildlich und exzellent. Dodge Automotive ist deshalb für uns nicht nur ein Geschäftspartner, die Beziehungen und das gegenseitige Vertrauen gehen weit darüber hinaus. Denn Dodge Automotive ist eine Firma mit einem Gesicht und einer Seele, genau wie die Porsche AG.
In 1996, it was the first time I met the top management. İlhan Çetinkaya, at that time the managing director, invited me for a meeting with Ayhan Şahenk and Ferit Şahenk. And Mr. Ayhan Şahenk, he explained very much all the visions he has, all the responsibility he sees also on the social side. And he had quite a bright vision, and I was very much impressed. As well, I was impressed that Ferit Şahenk, as a very young person, was ready to start off and to take over this huge responsibility. The Şahenk family, they took the responsibility to the managers. They did the job. They were our counterparts one-to-one in the daily business. But when it came to certain meetings, maybe twice a year or one time a year, and we met together, they carefully listened about the progress of the business, also in details.
My boss said to the two of us, one of the two of you interested maybe to go to Turkey. I didn't have any previous experience with Turkey before going for the business trips, so I raised my hand and said, I'm the one, I want to go there. And then the whole adventure started. Life was very intense, more intense than I was used to, both in Germany, both in terms of business and private life. Business, I mean, we had to put a company together from scratch, and there were two completely different cultures. The German team and the Turkish team, and I can talk more about that. So this was very intense, and we worked long hours, over months and weeks and months to establish the company. Privately, I was overwhelmed by the hospitality of many Turkish friends. I still have many of them. They didn't want to leave me alone. They didn't want me to feel bad. They didn't want me to stay hungry. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was very intense, but in a very positive sense.
I first heard of Dodge Automotive in 1994, when I moved from BMW to Porsche. And my then regional manager for the East and South of Europe had a meeting with Mr. Çetinkaya, and I'm certain that many of the Dodge Automotive employees still remember the name very well. So the meeting between Steib and Çetinkaya did not go very well. It was a somehow unpleasant meeting, yeah, because Çetinkaya grilled my colleague. Yeah. He was asking about marketing support. He questioned the prices. Yeah, he asked for support here and there. And as I said early on, Porsche was not in a position to give financial support. Yeah? So it was not the most pleasant meeting. Nevertheless, the importer contract was then signed, and that was indeed the beginning of a very, not only trustful, but also very successful cooperation between Dodge Automotive and Porsche AG. And looking backwards, I must say that Porsche could not have chosen a better importer in Turkey than Dodge Automotive.
"30 years, a time in which the automotive market has changed a lot and still is changing more than ever. One thing's for sure, the future is electric. As leading automotive importer and one of the largest automotive distributors, you at Dogosh carry a lot of responsibility, not only within the automotive sector, but for the Turkish society as a whole. I'm impressed by how diligently you are taking on this responsibility and how smart Dogosh Automotive is mastering the transformation. Thanks to your sustainability-oriented management approach, you are addressing the right topics along the entire value chain.
I am really looking forward to working together with you and seeing you soon in person. The Turkish market is really important for us. We see huge business opportunities for Volkswagen in the future. I know that the last few years have been a little challenging for our brand, but you have managed the turnaround by implementing the Volkswagen SUV initiative, all the way to the point where 2 out of 3 sales are now from our great SUV product portfolio. So many thanks for your commitment and your great performance. So I'm really looking forward to working with you.
With the 500,000 cars exceeding this year, but I think there is much more to come. From my perspective, also the transformation is still ongoing from smaller cars like our Caddy to bigger cars, and we will also introduce the ID Bus in the first wave of our internationalization endeavors, and therefore I do see a huge potential. Also looking forward into electrification and also our new products and the T6.1 successor that will come already in 2024. I think there is much more to come. Yeah, dear colleagues from Dogosh Automotive, you are not only a superb team, a super professional team, it's always fun to work with you, and I think this is also very important to be as successful as we have been in the past and will be in the future. Thank you for all your commitment.
I always had, from the very first time I met, both with Mr. Feric and Mr. Ali, a very good and respectful relationship. I think a problem is never unsolvable. It's never further away than a phone call or an email. And I think we both have good understandings that we're both leading big and complex organizations. But as long as you have a common value base and respect for each other, there is always a solution to a problem. And I think we have showed that in all these years. Yes, there have been difficulties, yes, there have been challenges and problems, but in the end we always find a solution that is valuable for both parties. We always talk about win-win-wins, because in the end, of course, it's not about Scania, it's not about Doge, it's about the end customer. It's about making sure they feel like winners in this whole setup. And there is where we find our common ground, I think. And that's why I respect the leaders of the Turkish organization so much. They think customer. And that's what we are obsessed about in Scania. We think customers. Even if we're running a big industry, customer can feel like very far away, but that's not the case. Customer is here and now, every day.
"30 years where a lot has changed. The automotive industry has seen an immense transformation, and also in Turkey, where the automotive market has always been very dynamic and constantly moving forward. But one thing hasn't changed in 30 years. That is the Porsche relationship with Dogosh Automotive. It is, and has always been, a relationship of deep loyalty, strong respect, and true friendship. We recognize and highly value your investment and commitment to the Porsche brand. It has not only contributed to our common success, it has also elevated the automotive landscape in Turkey, the largest and one of the most promising markets for Porsche in Central and Eastern Europe. Dear friends, you're a true partner, and we are incredibly grateful for that. Together, we will continue to drive innovation and to create desirability and unique experiences to make our customers' dreams come true.
Personal experience with Dogosh Automotive, of course, 30 years of Dogosh Automotive, congratulations, this is fantastic. But with Skoda, they have been working together with since 1999. But I was with Porsche starting in 1997, and Porsche was actually part of their franchise portfolio since 1996. So this is where I first experienced and heard about Dogush Automotive. And then my dear colleague during my Porsche times, Ali Bilaloglu, left Porsche and joined Dogush Automotive. And this is where, of course, then I realized that, of course, that's a big company, a big portfolio, 13 brands covering the whole of Turkey, the biggest and most important importer of cars and a big player in the Turkish market.
For sure, such an anniversary is a big reason to celebrate. And I know it myself because I have a round anniversary myself a bit later this year. Thanks for all these years of hard work and dedication in our partnership, bringing our brand closer to Turkish customers. I'm happy to be here with you today and tonight, and I'm looking forward to many years of working side by side. Forza Lamborghini and Forza Dogush Automotive.
But I have a lot of memories. I mean, I've known Ali Bilaloglu for 30 years. He was back at Audi at that time, so me and Ali have been friends for a long time. We've known each other for a long time. But I remember as well when I was at Audi, and I think I was doing Europe, but I also did the overseas job, so I had direct contact. I was responsible as director for the Turkish market for Audi for many years. And I remember, I think, it must have been 10 years ago, because if now you're celebrating 30 years, 10 years ago, I was invited to the 20th anniversary by Mr. Chayeng. I was even sat at his table. I remember it was a great night, a great party. So I'm sure you're going to have another great party this year to celebrate the 30th. So I remember that party in particular in Istanbul. I think it was in Istanbul 10 years ago. What I really respect about the Turkish colleagues is that when they promise something, they deliver. And when Ali Bilaloglu and Anil promised me in February that they were going to do a serious job with Cupra, I took them by their word and I said, and I'll come back at the end of the year and celebrate the success with you. And the guys did 10,000 cars. So my first thing I had to do after my first board meeting on Monday was to jump on a plane to come here to Istanbul to celebrate this success. So it's my first big meeting of the year, actually.
You are one of the largest players in the Turkish market. The work with Volkswagen and Scania is impossible not to notice. My first contact with you was an amazing experience. Visit Istanbul to see professional presentation of the company, meet interesting people, and in the end, feel amazing hospitality. I met Ali, the CEO, and Tolga, general manager, with whom we had interesting conversation about the similarities between our countries and how we are developing our businesses. While visiting you, I saw a very well organized company from which we can learn a lot.
Şimdi şöyle bir şansım var. Ben Doğuş Otomotiv'in 30 yıllık serüveninde aslında ilk günden beri içinde veya dışında farklı görevlerde olmakla beraber hep bir eşlik ettim. Bir çorbada tuzum oldu. Pozitif anlamdadır inşallah ve kuruluş günden beri aslında Doğuş'la bir birlikteliğimiz var. Doğuş grubunun yine o zaman Ferit Bey de zaten otomotiv grubu bayağı bir fokus olmuştu. Doğuş Otomotiv'in geleceğe hazırlığını yapmak üzere bir çalışma yaptık. Yani yapısı ne olmalı, hangi faaliyet alanında bulunmamız gerekiyor gibi bir çalışma yaptık. Hasbelkader o projenin de sorumluluğunu bana vermişti. Ve bugünkü şirketin aslında yapısını o gün tasarladık.